a huge, huge welcome to all of you here tonight. And I'm really hoping that right now you can see on your screen how to prepare for a positive birth. Please, as we make our way through this session tonight, as I said, we're recording. And please do feel free to ask questions. Please pop the questions in the chat box. I might not see them straight away, but I will come back to any important questions as at the appropriate time, and also at the end. We'll have a Q&A session at the end. So if you've got any questions, please stick around at the end. I'm also going to suggest that, you might want to stick around to the end. There's going to be some special offers happening at the end. Tonight, what we are going to do, or what my intention is for us tonight, what I want to do for you is to help you get thinking about birth and about the way that we think about birth, the way that we do, and how you can help yourself have a positive experience, regardless of what you're navigating, regardless of any curveballs, any challenges that may come your way, how you can help yourself to have a positive experience in any and all situations. I'm really hoping that tonight's session might start to stimulate some questions for you to find out more about a whole lot of things, so that you can go through this most transformational, most incredible time in your life, making informed decisions. I also am hoping to inspire you. And really, the main aim is for you to know how and what you can do to prepare for a positive birth. If you stick with me to the end, we're going to do a lovely little breath work, relaxation, and connection exercise with baby. So you will want to stick around for that. Coming up, it usually takes us about an hour to get through this. If you don't take anything else away from our session tonight, I want you to know there are some amazing resources for you. Now, these are just 2 resources. First up, the Positive Birth in New Zealand podcast. This has got over 100 positive stories on it now. 100 stories, a huge variety of positive birth stories. They're all positive birth stories, all in different circumstances, different situations, from parents who have done some work with me. And so many people commenting to me all the time, what a valuable resource. It is a valuable resource. I'll talk about it more tonight, because some of the people that I'm going to be featuring through this webinar, their stories are on the podcast, and I highly recommend that you start to listen to positive stories to help you feel, shall we say, inspired and feel more educated and informed about birth. Also, there is the Positive Birth in New Zealand book. This is a book full of information, just about everything that you need to know as a pregnant mama in New Zealand, including inspiration, tools, techniques. I'll talk a bit more about that later on, but know that these resources are very easy to get hold of and not going to cost much. Podcast, of course, is free. Alrighty, so just for those of you who might be meeting me for the first time, hello. I'm Helen, and I am the founder of Positive Births and the creator of, shall we say, the Kiwi Hypnobirthing Program, New Zealand's hypnobirthing program. About 4 years ago, I wrote Positive Birth in New Zealand, the book, which is, as I said, full of information, full of stuff that, this is all the stuff I'd love every pregnant mum to download into her mind. Not just information, but tools, techniques, skills, things that you can learn, things that you can do. I also feel very privileged to talk to lots of amazing parents who share their birth stories with me. And they're usually parents that have connected with me in some way, shape, or form in their pregnancy. Most of them do my courses with me. And I get to be able to hear and share their incredible stories of what they navigated and how they made their way through their birth, no matter what happened, coming out the other side feeling like they had a positive birth. I've been teaching an amazing program since 2007, so it's a fair way now. It's like 17 years. I've been teaching a program called Hypnobirthing. I'll explain to you a little bit more about what that is later on. I also have certification, advanced certification as a hypnotherapist. Yeah, that certainly plays into the work that I do, and how I do the work with the pregnant couples that I meet. And of course, most importantly, I am a mum of 3. I'm also a nana, and I feel I feel very old when I say that. But on the screen here, just a couple of images here with me and my 3 kids. Jess, she's now 22. She has nearly a 2-year-old, Ali, who was born at the beginning of 2023. I had Jack, who is about to turn 19 in a couple of weeks. And our youngest, Millie, is 15. And I just want to share you a little bit of background about my experiences going into birth. Now, first up, super important. What I want to say to you right now is what I wish someone had said to me in my first pregnancy in 2001, because Jess was born at the beginning of 2002. I wish somebody had said to me, get informed, get educated, learn about birth, because the way that you birth affects the way that you move forward in life as a mother. And it's so true. And I hear mothers repeat this to me all the time, that when they felt informed and empowered, and they know that they did their very best to have the best type of birth that they could, they come away from it and they just feel like they can cope and are capable of anything and everything. But of course, nobody said that to me. Nobody said that to me in 2001. And for me, birth was just something that I just had to get through. I didn't think about it too much, to be quite honest. I wasn't actually scared of it. I just didn't really want to think about it. It was just like, let's get it over and done and out of the way, and then we'll move on and we'll enjoy a baby. And I had no idea. I had no idea about anything. So the parents that I meet in their first pregnancies, I'm just so happy for them that they're coming along to learn some really great tools, skills, and everything, to feel confident, to feel empowered. Because what happened at the end of my pregnancy is my midwife basically said, oh, well, you're 41 weeks now. Well, let's book you in for an induction on Tuesday. And that's exactly what happened. I turned up to the hospital on time. Even though my body was showing all the early signs of labor, my midwife said, well, we're booked in for an induction, let's go for it. And of course, I didn't ask any questions, and I didn't know the risks, and I didn't know the outcomes. I didn't know what was going to happen. And so I found myself basically, short story, all the drugs in a very short space of time. My labor was induced. I had drugs running through me. I was given some more. A few hours after that started, I asked for an epidural, but it was only a couple of hours after that my baby was born. So really, my body and my baby actually knew exactly what to do, but I didn't know that at the time. And so there I am holding my first baby thinking, what the heck just happened? I had all this intervention. Did I actually need it? I think now the answer is no, but I think it was actually a very good experience for me to have, to understand how easily we can get caught up in the hospital system that just says, do this because this is most convenient. Do this because you're booked in for this. And of course, had I asked questions, had I been informed, I probably wouldn't have done it. A few years later, I was given a book, and let's just say it was the 2005 version of the original hypnobirthing book, a very, very new concept in those days. Nobody had heard of the term hypnobirthing. I was very lucky enough to be taken through the hypnobirthing course. I learned a whole lot of tools, a whole lot of skills. And then I'm going to show you a picture now. Then I went on to birth my second baby. And this is him. This is Jack when he was born. And my midwife took this photo. She was laughing when he was born. And of course, I didn't need any drugs. I didn't need any support. I had some really good breathing, relaxation, amazing tools. My midwife said it looked like I had an epidural. I was using some hypnobirthing stuff. Out he came. She laid him out on me. She's like, crikey, I need to take this photo. He was a very big boy, 4.4 kilos, 9 pounds 11. Yeah, and against me, huge. So it was an amazing experience to have birthed easily, naturally, and relatively comfortably using tools and techniques that I knew were just amazing. At that point in time in 2005, there was really no knowledge of hypnobirthing, hardly anyone in New Zealand teaching it. And so it was in 2007 that I trained to teach this hypnobirthing program. And from there, I have moved on to teach thousands of couples over the past 17 years, thousands of couples from all walks of life, from all different backgrounds. It's been amazing. And along the way, as well as teaching hypnobirthing, I have gained certification as a hypnotherapist. So yes, I specialize in pregnancy, birth and parenting under the Positive Births brand. I also have my own hypnotherapy business where I help mums through birth trauma. I teach mums skills and tools to use for the parenting journey. I work with people who are suffering with anxiety and stress and addictions and trauma and phobias and fears, and do all sorts of wonderful, wonderful things. So that's been my journey over the last 17 years, is really just my most favorite thing is working with pregnant couples. So what I want to know is a little bit about you guys. I want to know, for those of you who are here live, tell me, and let's start the chat box happening again, and tell me, are you pregnant right now? When's your baby due? Is it your first pregnancy? Is it your second pregnancy? Where are you at right now? So if you want to share that. March the 24th, that's beautiful time of the year to have a baby. End of April, awesome. Second pregnancy, due April. Due end of February, fantastic. With your first baby, due 3rd of March, beautiful. June, December, January, February, excellent. Okay, we have got, yep, thank you. Thank you all for answering that. Okay, so we've got a range of due dates. Second pregnancies, first pregnancies, third pregnancy, start of February, awesome. Okay. Okay, booked for an induction on the 24th of November. That's not far away. I hope you are feeling calm and confident for that. Okay. Nice. 36 weeks. Due with number 2 next week. Kelly. Awesome. Well, I hope this might give you a little bit of something to work with. It's never too late to learn some tools and techniques to help you through. Okay. Nice, nice. Awesome. Excellent. Alrighty. Now, the next question. What is it? What comes up in your mind? What are the thoughts that come up for you when you think about having to give birth? And that's it. Please, in the chat box, what do you think of? What comes into your mind when you think about having to give birth? Okay. Yeah. Your body should know how to do this. Absolutely. Do you know how to work with your body? That would be my question to you. Your body knows how to do it. Is your mind going to get in the way? Or is it going to, do you have tools and techniques to work with it? Okay. Scared, excited. Yeah. Scared, not knowing yet the unknown and not knowing how the pain will be. These are really, really normal thoughts and feelings. How am I going to cope? What's it going to be like? Can I cope? Is it all going to feel totally, am I going to feel totally out of control? Oh, winter melon, the current size. I have to tell you a funny story here. Okay. This came to the forefront of my mind after I'd been doing some work in the hypnobirthing training way back in 2007. And I remembered a story that came up for me, an experience I had in the playground at 7 years of age, or around about 7. And I remember this kid, this little boy coming up to a group of us girls and going, ha, 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 ha. You're girls, when you grow up, you have to have babies. And when you have a baby, it's like a watermelon coming out your bottom. Why did I remember that? Why? I don't know, but I do remember distinctly being pregnant with my first baby and thinking, oh my goodness, it's a watermelon. It's a watermelon. Now, what I want to say to you is at that point in time, I did not know. Your body is designed to open up. Your baby's head is designed to mold to fit the shape of you. You are not giving birth to something that isn't designed to come out of you. Okay. Worried about something going wrong again. Yep. Okay. I hear you on that. And that's where I might say, if you are here right now and you have had a difficult, traumatic, negative previous birth experience, can I highly, highly recommend that you do some work on releasing the fear and releasing the trauma from that previous birth experience. And I'm sorry that something went wrong for you. I'm really sorry to hear that. But I want you to know that you can feel confident again. And if you want proof of that, there are several stories on my podcast from mums who have met me in their second pregnancy and they have had traumatic first birth experiences. We have worked through the trauma, and sometimes it only takes one session. Sometimes it's 2 sessions. We've worked through that. We've released it from the body, and they have gone on to do amazing, amazing stuff. So please, if there's anyone here who has had a difficult experience, please feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to have like a 15-minute chat. I can share with you how I work and what I do and how that can really help. Uninformed, Ashley. Okay, but I know my body knows what to do. Yeah, okay, I hear you there. And I'm going to say, as I said earlier, please get informed and educated and learn how to work with your body. Your body knows what to do, but is the mind going to get in the way when you go through this essentially an unfamiliar experience? Birth is unfamiliar. Even if you're up to your 3rd birth or 4th birth, it is an unfamiliar experience. So I usually teach couples tools and techniques that become so familiar to them that when they move into this unfamiliar territory, they have got the familiar to work with. It's automatic for them. It's an automatic response, an automatic reaction. So it is something that you know how to do to work with the process. Yeah, Jess, fear, unknown, partner unsure of how to support me. Yes, okay, yeah, totally hear you there. And most partners don't know how to support you, which is why I love sharing this information in the courses that I teach, because the guys actually usually come along. They're like, what the heck have we got into? What are we doing? The first session, they usually say, oh my goodness, all of this makes so much sense. And we give them really clear, amazing instructions of how to support me. They walk away from it going like they feel empowered because they know what to do to support you as a pregnant mum, to help you go through, as I've said before, this unfamiliar experience. And it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. Sophie, sorry to hear that you've had a traumatic birth. I don't know if you were here and you heard what I said before, but I'm really encourage you to reach out to someone, and you feel free to reach out to me to release the trauma of that first experience, because it stays in the body and we want to get it out of the body so that you can get your mind and your body into the right place for this next birth. So love to have a chat with you. Gestational diabetes, Claire, I might have a chat with you at some point in time. What I'm going to say is everything is your decision and your choice. I know that they might not make you feel that way, but best and safest will be what you feel is best and safest, but you need to gather all the information to make an informed decision, because it is your decision at the end of the day, even though the system might not be making you feel that way. And hopefully I'm going to have a really good story coming out in the podcast soon from a mum who navigated her birth empowered with gestational diabetes. Okay, fear of birth injuries, feeling that induction is so unnatural. I'd rather go natural, but knowing I need to trust my body in order to be relaxed. And yeah, and you need to learn relaxation tools to be able to also trust your body. And yeah, fear, I'm going to talk about this soon. We really need to get fear out of the birth picture, because when there's fear, it affects the way that our bodies actually operate through birth. Yeah, Chai, so yeah, your partner needs to learn some tools and understand. Kelly, fear of being able to tolerate a long labour that doesn't progress normally. So you've had a difficult first birth as well, and every birth is different. And yeah, getting rid of that fear will be so helpful, so that fear is not stuck in your body. And so that when you start going into labor again, you are confident the fact that you know how to navigate this and you can do this. We don't know nobody knows how their birth is going to be, but when you've got tools and techniques, And Kelly, please tune into the stories on the podcast from mums having second births after a really difficult first birth, because that will give you a lot of confidence. Yeah. I hated feeling so powerless. Yes. Oh, Sophie. Yes, I hear you. I hear you on that. And I really hope there's a story coming out. Just spoken to a beautiful lady, Kiki, today. She regained all her power. And I want you to listen to her story. Power. We want you to feel powerful. So thank you all for sharing that. And I'm sure, there's more things going on for some of you. And do feel free afterwards to stay on for any questions or to get in touch with me if there's a particular something that you want to have a chat about. But we are programmed in our society to be fearful of birth. And there is a real culture of fear of birth, and such a culture of doubt. Can I do this? What if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? Fear, fear, fear. And that leads to a complete lack of trust and belief in ourselves and our bodies. And if I'm going to put up the pictures on here, these two pictures kind of really sum up what we're often programmed with in terms of media and how birth is presented to us. I mean, the top picture on the right hand side, my goodness. That was the first picture that I Googled. When I went onto YouTube and I Googled, I searched birth, this is the first image that came up. Obviously, they wanted people to really click on that link and watch that video, but I thought this is so typical. We've got two men looking terrified and helpless, a woman looking terrified, hospital in the background, ambulance, everything shouts and screams, emergency and drama. And tell me, has there ever been a movie or a program on TV where birth has been portrayed as calm, normal, natural process that a mother feels completely empowered and amazed by? Usually not. The movies show us women screaming, yelling at their partners. It's an emergency dash to the hospital always. And this helps to shape our beliefs and our thoughts and our feelings about birth, and then we start to hear the stories. And for those of you who are pregnant right now, I don't know, are you being bombarded with other people's stuff, other people's negative stories? What are people saying to you? And I want to be really clear on this when I say now, if you're pregnant right now is not the time to be taking on board other people's stuff, other people's negative experiences, other people's fears, other people's doubts. No, you need to actually create a barrier, a boundary, and not take on board other people's stuff. Every birth story is different, and your birth doesn't have to be the same as it was last time or the same as somebody else's negative birth experience, okay? Because other people's stories affect the way that we feel. And, if we're tuning into all this negativity, how does it make us feel? Because there is one huge enemy of birth, a huge thing that we can influence. But if it's left unchecked, it can cause a lot of issues. And that factor is fear. And it's so normal for us now to be, programmed with fear, worry, concern. This could go wrong. That could go wrong. You turn up to an antenatal class and all they talk about, that could go wrong, this could go wrong, and this could go wrong, and etc. And don't do this in your pregnancy, and don't do that. And if you eat sushi, your baby's going to die. And I'm sorry, that might sound an exaggeration, but this is how we're made to feel. And if you don't do this, your baby's going to die. And if you don't do that, and I think the first step, I know that the first step into having a positive birth is actually recognizing what is it that you're fearful of. If there are fears, what is it that you're fearful of? What is it that you might be even just concerned about, worried, anxious, nervous? Identify those. Because when you start to identify them, that starts the process of releasing. And I do work with huge numbers of parents who have doubts, concerns, worries, fears, and I take them through a process to help them release those so that they can move forward. Because fear and doubt and worry and concern and anxiety and all of these things, they do have an impact on not only our pregnancy, but a huge impact on our birth. So first up, if we are going through the process of pregnancy and we're concerned, we're worried, we're doubtful, we're anxious, we're nervous, the stress hormones are floating through our body. Okay, they're not making us feel good, but our baby's getting the message. This is dangerous. I'm at risk. My mum's nervous. They're feeling the effects of those hormones. Your body is also receiving the message that it's not safe. And the body is very intelligent because the body will protect itself, will do its best to protect itself against something that's not safe, and it will create symptoms. And that might just be heart palpitations or sweating or tightening or clenching of the jaw or whatever it might be. I'm not safe. I'm not safe. We need to resist this. When we go into a state of fear, we can go into what's known as a fight flight. And you've probably experienced that at some time previously in your life, where all the stress hormones are flooding through our bodies. And this can cause part of our body to get ready to run away, to get ready to flee, and to get ready to fight, which is really, really good if we are in a situation where our life is being threatened, such as if you are being chased down a dark alley by a random stranger with a knife, or you're in the water and you see a shark fin. That is really good for your body to get stress hormones flooding through us to fight or run away. But parts of your body will also freeze, which is not helpful if you are moving through the labor and birth experience, because this goes to number 3, it really affects the way that your birthing muscles work. And the muscles in your uterus, the most incredible, amazing muscles in your body, the most powerful muscles in your body, if there is any tension and any fear within us, those muscles can't work the way that they are so beautifully designed. And basically, they will resist the birth process and not allow your body to open up. Also, when we are fearful, we're more likely to appease others. So we're more likely to just do what somebody else says to do. So, for example, midwife, obstetrician, a doctor, anyone in the medical system, I'll do what you tell me to do. And you're less likely to ask questions. You're less likely to make informed decisions. And that goes to number 4 as well. It can result in us making decisions or not making decisions at all, but coming from a place of fear. And we come away from the process powerless, feeling powerless, and feeling maybe let down, and feeling like your birth was just taken over. So fear, so many reasons why we don't want that in our system, and know that you can release that. You can work through it, absolutely. We want to be coming to this time in our lives from a place of feeling confident, feeling like we can trust, feeling capable, feeling empowered. So my question to you right now is, how do you want to feel for your birth? How do you want to feel about your birth, and how do you want to feel for your birth? Now, you may have an idea of what type of birth you would like, and that might just be, okay, I want a normal natural water birth at the hospital, or I want a home birth, or or I'm open to whatever it might be. You've probably got a bit of an idea, but what kind of prep are you doing? What kind of prep are you doing for the birth that you want? Because, if you were preparing for a marathon, and I don't really want to say that birth is like a marathon, some births are really fast, a lot shorter than a marathon, and some births are longer. But what I'm going to say is, if you were doing a major physical event, would you just rock up to the starting line without getting your mind in the right space, without getting your team on board, without knowing what you're in for, without knowing the roadmap, all your options, shall we say, you're going to be going off this way or that way? Would you just turn up for it on the day and hope for the best? Probably not. Do you feel prepared and equipped to be able to have the type of birth that you'd really like? So what prep are you doing? And I want to come back to this question here. Most important one. Because it's fair to say we can't control all aspects of birth. So you might say to yourself, yes, I would love to have a 5-hour labor at home, move to the hospital, have baby within the next couple of hours, or I'd like to have, a birth in a birthing center, or I'd like it to be like this. But there can be other things that come into play that might shift that birth, you might have to deviate a certain way. If something else might happen, baby might not be in the best possible position, or there might be other factors that influence the way that you're going to birth. But how do you want to feel about and for your birth, regardless of what happens? All these things that we're not in control of. How do you want to feel, regardless of what plays out? Do you want to feel confident? Do you want to feel empowered? Do you want to feel informed, supported, safe? Do you want to just feel calm and relaxed? Do you want to feel proud of yourself? Do you want to feel just excited? Do you want to feel that you can trust the process, trust your body, trust your baby, trust your LMC? How is it that you want to feel? And I really want you to start to think about that more and more. What is it that you want to feel? What do you want to look back on your birth and say, wow, I'm just really proud of myself because I was strong, powerful, I was confident, capable, or I was just calm and relaxed. I just went with the flow. Think about how you want to feel, because that is one thing. There's a huge thing that you can influence. How do you want to feel? And work around that in terms of your preparation. Because what if your birth was just amazing? Because that's also, what if it goes really well? Does Therese at home in the bath? Does she look on top of the moon or what? Yeah, amazing. Okay. What if you achieved your biggest goals? Now, these three mums here are all mums who've had traumatic first births. And in fact, Kiki, the one in the middle, I just got that photo from her today. I've just recorded a podcast episode with her. It is one of the most powerful, epic birth stories I have ever heard. And I hear a lot of amazing birth stories. This is coming out in the podcast, hopefully tomorrow, maybe the next day. Okay. Her greatest goal was to have, she'd had 2 C-sections. She wanted a natural birth. She got it at home in the water. Quote from her midwife goes, was an effing textbook birth. It was amazing. Z on the left-hand side. Yes, she's in hospital. She got her birth. She had a C-section first time around. Faith, the one on the right-hand side. Oh, amazing, incredible story. What that lady overcame to birth her baby the way she wanted to is incredible. They lost their home in the, what was the storm? 2023. I've forgotten the name now. Gabrielle. They lost their home in Gabrielle on the same day that she was due. She wanted a home birth. She couldn't be at home. They lost their home. Their land basically disintegrated down a bank. And she went to the neighbour's house and had her baby a few days later. Really amazing story, that one. So what if you achieve your greatest goal? What if everything just works out exactly the way it meant to? This is Tash. This is her second baby. Her first baby was born in a very similar situation at home in the pool. And yeah, you can tell she looks pretty chuffed there. She was so proud of herself. She did it. She rocked it. What if you felt calm, in control, confident? This is Ash, her first baby in the pool at home. You can listen to her stories on the podcast too. Amazing. She was determined that she could birth the way that she wanted to, and she totally did. She absolutely did. And yeah. And what if your partner knew exactly what to do to support you? What if your partner was amazing? And I want to take a moment to read out what Jess says, because her birth story is pretty cool. And you can read her birth story on my website. It's not on the podcast. And she just says, I'm so grateful we got to experience at the birth the way we did. My wish is for every woman to know that she is powerful, capable, and can have an overwhelmingly positive experience like we did. Believe in yourself, your body, and your baby. And for partners, do not underestimate your value. I know I could not have done it without Warren. Our bond has been strengthened by such a powerful and emotional shared experience. That's really what I want to say to you. I want you to know that you are powerful, you are capable, and you can totally do this. And these amazing ladies here, they proved the stats wrong, all 3 of these ladies. The stats basically said, no, you can't do this, and they did. Janelle was 43. She had previously had a C-section. She wanted to have a baby at home. She was told no, and she went and did it anyway, and she found a midwife who supported her, and she is so proud of herself. You can hear all 3 of these stories on the podcast. Amy, all the stats basically said, no, you can't have another baby. after, naturally after having a C-section, and she did. And Emma decided that she wasn't going to be induced at 42 weeks. She was waiting another week, and she did. And she birthed her Poppy at home just the way she wanted to. Her babies take a little bit longer to come on out, and she was happy to wait. And she's very, very happy that she did. Now, birth is a peak bodily performance for which our bodies are superbly designed, and I wish they taught this to girls at high school. And this comes from an expert, and this is one lady, and I'm going to be giving you a list of resources to look into, to read, to follow, to listen to their podcasts, to be inspired, and most of all, educated and informed by the experts who are independent researchers. Okay? Sarah J. Buckley, internationally recognized as one of the leading researchers on natural birth and the hormones of birth, and she is a Kiwi. Now, she has ditched us and she is living in Australia, but she is a Kiwi. She grew up in Whangarei and she trained as a GP initially, and then she moved into the birth field during and after she had her 4 babies. And the book, The Gentle Birth, Gentle Mothering, it's a little bit old now. It's 15 years old, but it is still very relevant. You can find it in the library system. I think it's in just about every library system or every area in New Zealand. And it is so well worth a read. In this book, she has the science, she has the evidence, and she has her own experiences. So there's a bit of light reading and a bit of heavy reading. You can skip past the heavy stuff if you don't want to go there, but highly recommend her work. And she knows. She knows, she's got evidence, scientific evidence. Our bodies are superbly designed to birth. And she'll tell you all the reasons why. I'd love to talk about it, but I'll be here all night. Ina May Gaskin, if you haven't come across her work yet, oh my goodness, a legend, absolute legend. She is American. She has been working with birth since the 1970s. One of my favorite quotes here that I love to share in my classes when we learn about the muscles of the uterus and how they work and how they are the most incredible muscles in a mother's body. There is no other organ quite like the uterus. If men had such an organ, they would brag about it. So should we. We should, ladies. We just don't usually know how amazing it is. But yeah, she's an expert as well, and she will tell you and give you evidence about how you can give birth normally, naturally, easily, or shall we say in your power. So my question to you now is, do you know how your body works through labor? Now, you might have learned how, and if you haven't learned how, you need to learn how. How did your body work? But most importantly, how do you work with what's happening? How do you work with it so that you don't accidentally or unintentionally resist it? I know in my first birth experience, I didn't know what was happening. Well, I kind of knew, but I didn't really know. And so many mums will tense up and brace themselves, and they hold themselves, and they're just gripping. And it's get me the drugs. But when we start to relax and we start to let our bodies soften, and when we breathe the right way, and when we can visualize and we think about what's happening, when our mind is in the right place, knowing that this is an incredible experience, we're working with the process. We're not resisting it. We are assisting it. And as a result, we work with it. It does feel more comfortable. Absolutely. Okay. And if birth wasn't a normal natural process, would we be all here today? We wouldn't. 40,000 years of birthing, and shall we say we've only been birthing in hospitals since the 1940s. Intervention has really only come in massively in the last 30, 40, 50 years. Do you think that humans, we would still be here if we didn't know how to birth, or our bodies didn't know how to do it? But you're going to have to go out there on an adventure, on a journey to seek the information that you need to feel empowered. It's not usually in a standard antenatal course. A standard antenatal course is going to tell you about what happens in labor and birth and what your options are in terms of this drug, this intervention, that intervention, the hospital processes and all of that, which can be really good information. But they're not going to tell you how to work with it. They might say, well, relaxation and breathing is really good. Or getting your mind into the right space, getting your support team on board. But that will be about it. Your midwife doesn't have the time, usually, to point you in all the different directions, to give you the inspiration, to give you the knowledge. She needs you to do it. And of course, there are some mums who are happy just to go along with what she says and not question anything. That was me, guilty in my first birth. And that's, that's plenty of other mums. I don't care. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. But there are parents like you who are looking for more information, who want to come out of this process feeling empowered and feeling confident and feeling proud of yourselves. So you're going to have to find out this information from different places. The more information you find out, the more knowledge you have. The more knowledge you have, the more powerful you will feel. The more powerful you feel, the more you're going to trust the process, trust your body. Believe me, this is what I hear from the mums that I work with. They feel powerful, they feel capable. They've gone out there, they've sourced that information, or in a lot of cases they've come to me and I've given them the information, but they have to do the reading. They have to do the practice of the tools and techniques that I share with them. Because of course, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. If you want to drink the water, if you want to feel self-empowered, knowledge about yourself, your body, your baby's birth, your birth it's very, very powerful. And you can feel very, very confident and more trusting and more believing in yourself. Absolutely. And when we start to think about that way, how does it feel if you felt really powerful and you felt strong and you felt capable, as well as calm, relaxed, and also excited? Because what's going on in your mind totally affects the way that your body responds. I love teaching this in my classes. I love sharing with pregnant couples all the examples of, when we get our mind on board, what the body is ready to do. The body is literally following what's going on in the mind. And I totally believe that a positive birth starts in your head. Totally. And this quote from Sheila Kitzinger, another very well-known midwife, 90% of birth has to do with what's going on in your head. Totally is. You've got to get your head into the right space. So when I talk about positive birth experiences, what am I talking about, and what is a positive birth? Because a positive birth isn't always a birth that goes exactly the way you wanted it to. Not all births move in a straight line. Not all births are completely textbook. Birth often can take some twists and turns and deviate and, look slightly differently to how you imagined. But a positive birth is one where you feel safe and supported. A positive birth is one where you feel loved and respected. And it's one where you've got tools and techniques to use, to work with, to benefit from. A positive birth is one where you do feel calm and relaxed and free of fear. You know what questions you need to ask, if you need to ask them. You know how to make empowered and informed decisions. You and your partner do. Because, of course, if we need to be making decisions during labor, it needs to be a partner that's right on board with you. And it's a birth that you look back on and you go, yeah, I did the best that I could at the time with what I had. I'm proud of myself. We did our best. That's what a positive birth is. So here's the how. How do we start preparing for a positive birth? Getting your mind into the right space. Observing your beliefs. What are your current thoughts, feelings, beliefs about birth, about your body? Are you someone, I've met lots of mums who've said this, who, well, I have a low pain threshold, I'm a bit of a wuss. How am I going to handle this birth thing, because I can't usually handle X, Y, and Z, or this or that. A belief system that's not actually really working for you in this situation. You need to believe, or you need to, shall we say, upgrade those beliefs. You need to download an upgraded version of that belief system, because you are powerful. You have no idea, mums, pregnant mums, have no idea how powerful you are. You are incredibly powerful. You are incredibly capable. You need to start believing that. So what are your current beliefs? Where's your mind at? Is it helpful to help you achieve what it is that you want to feel? So do you believe that you can feel calm, capable, confident? Are you open to a new idea of looking at things? And I am, as I said before, I'm going to send you a list of resources. I'm going to send you a list of births that you might like to have a look at, which are probably very different from births that you've ever seen on TV and the movies. Are you open to opening your mind up to birth being different to what you might have previously thought it was? You know, using affirmations, powerful, positive statements to help change or upgrade those ideas, your mind, those beliefs. And looking at other positive birth stories, listening to other people's positive birth stories, opening your mind up to how birth could be rather than maybe how you experienced it last time, or maybe what your mum told you or your friend told you, or whatever it might be. Getting your mind into the right space. Okay. Seeking information. So another way to prepare for a positive birth, learn all about your body, learn about the hormones. I love talking about this in my classes. The amazing hormones that are designed to flood through your body at the right time when you are calm and relaxed. Because, of course, when we're fearful, we're tense, we're worried, it's very difficult for those hormones to flow. So learn about what your body is capable of. There's just some books on the screen there. I'll send you a list of books. The people that you want to read, you know, the Ida Mae Gaskin, Sarah J. Buckley, Dr. Sarah Wickham, amazing independent researcher that you want to get a hold of her literature, her articles. A lot of them are on her website. Rachel Reed's work. I summarize a lot of stuff in my book, The Positive Birth in New Zealand book. I jump onto podcasts. The Midwife's Cauldron is full, it's full of incredible information that midwives are discussing. The latest research, or shall we say, the lack of evidence that surrounds why you are being put into this box. So the lack of evidence, what happens if I say no to this? What happens if I say no to that? Very, very interesting. So if you have, you know, if you are classed into a high risk category like gestational diabetes, learn a little bit more about what these independent researchers are saying. So other podcasts there. So I will send you a list of this, but surround yourself with that information that is going to empower you. And yeah, this is a huge learning journey. I know, a huge learning journey. And you're like, what the heck? Why? Why do I feel like I'm studying so much? And I tell you what, everything that you learn will be useful for you to feel empowered, for you to start trusting your body more, for you to have this incredible experience. Your baby, you only birth your baby once. And as I said, it catapults you into this lifetime of being a mum. So learning a set of tools is also going to help. Yeah, first up, release any fear. Okay, but going through a process of getting that fear out of your body, getting that fear out of your mind, or shall we say, looking at it from a different perspective. Learning how to breathe to work with your body. Learning how to breathe to feel calm and relaxed. Learning how to relax that body, how to soften your body, how to go loose and limp at the drop of a hat so that you're not resisting an unfamiliar experience and you can do it easily and quickly. Tools such as anchors, having automatic triggers, shall we say, to make you feel safe, to make you feel calm, to make you feel comfortable. Using your mindfulness tricks. Have you learnt mindfulness before? What is it that you can draw from what you've learnt there to help keep your mind in the present, the here now, and not wandering off and catastrophizing about what could happen, what might happen? And, you know, learning how to picture things and visualize things and really, you know, and feeling the energy, how good it feels. So all of this is about working with your body, mentally, emotionally, physically. So a set of tools is going to help you prepare for a positive birth. Getting your partner on board, absolutely. Getting your partner on board, 100%. This can take some effort, and this is why shall we say, a lot of couples end up coming to my course so that their partners can be there with them, learning this stuff at the same time, learning how to do the things that they can do, gathering the information, getting inspired, getting informed, getting empowered, and knowing what it is that they can do to support you, knowing what it is that your preferences are, knowing how to keep you in the right mindset, what questions need to be asked, how to advocate, and understanding that they play a huge part. Men in birth are not just a spare wheel sitting on the sidelines feeling useless. there's any guys listening right here, right now, awesome, welcome. You can play an incredible role in the birth of this baby and feel really part of it. And also, how do you get your midwife on board? Or shall we say, talking to your midwife, asking questions. So getting that support team and making sure that support team is on the same page as you. Making sure that you're understanding that you don't want to invite people into your space that are going to disrupt, shall we say, the vibe, the energy. Don't invite people into your space who are fearful, who are worried, because that fear can contaminate a space. Most of all, being curious, questioning everything, having trust in your body and your baby, but questioning everything. Your midwife says to you at the end of your pregnancy, oh, we'll just do a stretch and sweep. And you think, oh, I've heard what that is. But then asking more questions and feeling into, oh, does this feel right? My intuition. And I'm going to say, don't diss the woo-woo-ness of listening to your intuition. Mother's instinct, mother's intuition, it is very, very powerful. And time again, I keep hearing examples of how mums are so glad that they tuned into their body, they listened to their body, they trusted themselves and their body. So I'm going to say, be curious, question everything. Also, listen to your gut feel, that intuition. So do you know what questions to ask if intervention is mentioned and or offered, or shall we say to avoid unnecessary intervention? Now, you might think that all intervention is necessary, but it's not. I'm going to share some stats with you in a moment. And I'm also going to say that questions, asking quality questions to get good answers, because it is true, if you don't ask, you don't get. If you just do what you're told the whole way through and don't ask questions, you will find yourself on a pathway that other people are dictating what needs to happen in your birth. But if you start asking questions, if you start asking for things, you'll start getting what you want. But you do have to ask the questions. Unnecessary intervention, okay? Now, these stats were just recently released. Some of you may be far away from Auckland and, not going to be birthing in this space, and some of you are in Auckland, I know that. Some of you might not be planning on birthing at Auckland City Hospital, but the stats that have just come out are absolutely shocking. Nearly half of all births at Auckland City Hospital last year were C-sections, 44.6%. Only 42% of mothers who walked into Auckland City Hospital walked in there because they were going into labour naturally and had a natural, spontaneous vaginal birth. If the full-time mums, the full-term mothers, shall we say, 41% of those had an induction. So huge induction rates. These stats come from this very great website that you might like to look into, Maternity Services. Oh, that's the Instagram handle, the website, maternity.org.nz. Worthwhile looking up because they publish stats. It's really worthwhile being aware of the fact that 30% of mums in New Zealand, labour's induced. Biggest reason is because, oh, you're past 40 weeks. Oh, you're overdue. You're not overdue until you pass 42 weeks. And even then, you don't have to be induced. It's your body, it's your birth, it's your baby. You can choose whether you want to be induced. Now, usually babies will arrive somewhere between 37 and 42 weeks, but you're not overdue until you're past 42 weeks. Most women are recommended to have an induction before 42 weeks. Why? They don't have to be. It's just because they're told. There are some reasons, yes, where induction is a really good method of getting a mum and a baby who might not be happy, might not be healthy, might be under stress, might be high risk. Induction is amazing when it's needed. Absolutely. Please don't get me wrong. I am not anti-intervention. Intervention is amazing. Science is amazing. C-sections awesome when we need them. But the problem is that the rates just keep going higher and higher and higher very, very quickly. Why are so many mums being induced? 2006, only 19% of mums in New Zealand were being induced. What's happened? 19%, 2019, 32% of all first-time mums were being induced. 26% in 2018 overall. And these are old stats now, and it's actually quite hard to get stats. There's different health boards that release different stuff at different time. What I'm going to say is, what happened between 2006 and now? 19% induction rate in 2006. Have our bodies changed? Are we suddenly like, we can't birth as well as we used to? Why? Why are so many mums being induced? C-sections. Why are so many mums having C-sections right now? Okay, overall in New Zealand 2022, 32% of births, C-section. Okay, when the World Health Organization recommends that C-section rates should stay between 10 and 15%, why does Wales keep increasing year after year after year? In 2015, it was only 25%. 1970, 5.5% of mums had a C-section. Why has it increased so much? If our bodies can't birth anymore? Or is it because parameters, guidelines are getting tighter and tighter? More and more people, more and more mothers are being classified as high risk. More and more scanning is happening. So you talk to your mums about whether they had scans when they were pregnant. Their scans are great, scans are good, but your mum might have had one, she might have had none. When I had my babies, it was common to have maybe two, maybe one, maybe two. I'm speaking with mums now having scans every week from 32 weeks. And all they seem to be finding is, oh my goodness, your baby's too small. Oh my goodness, your baby's too big. Oh my goodness, your baby's not in the right position. Oh my goodness, we need to induce you because your baby might be too small or too big. And I'm also going to say about scans, they cannot accurately predict the size of the baby. It's 15% out either way. So there might be some mums, oh, your baby's really big. They birth an 8-pound baby. No, my baby's not that big. Your baby's really small and they birth a 7-pound baby. No, my baby's not that small. It's just worth understanding this to start questioning. Is it really necessary for you to be put into a category where it might be like, oh, we'll just induce you next week? Or, oh, it'd be great to have your baby before Christmas. Sometimes that does happen. I'm not saying that that's your LMC saying that, but I'm saying that does happen. Your due date is around the 16th of December. I don't know if there's anyone here who's got a date around the middle of December. If you don't have that baby, you're going to have, lots of recommendations. Just get that baby out before Christmas. Then you can have a pre-Christmas baby. Is that necessary? It's your choice. You can choose to have that. Absolutely. You can choose not to. You can actually say no to everything, and that is within your rights. As a parent, you can say no to everything. And I do know mums who've said no to certain things. And this mum here in this picture here, she said no. I'm not doing a gestational diabetes test. No, I'm not having the extra scans. I don't want to have them and I don't need that information. I feel good in my body and I know that my baby is healthy. She had that textbook effing birth, the effing textbook birth. She had that home birth. And she did say no to a lot. And she was put under a lot of pressure. And it can be hard. It is difficult to say no. It is and it isn't. You can say no to everything. That is within your rights. It is your body. It is your baby. Of course, you're not going to say no. You're not going to be silly and take risks. But if you feel that you're being pressured to do something that you don't want to do, you can say no. And you should be supported. And your LMC actually needs you to ask these questions. Your LMC needs you to ask, well, what would happen if we put that induction off for another couple of days? What would happen? Now, of course, it'd be a bit of an admin nightmare, wouldn't it? Well, not a nightmare, but it's inconvenient. There's this space there in the hospital for you to be induced right now. Gosh, you don't want to be inconvenient. It's not really a good reason to say, can we wait another few days? But a lot of mere parents will be like, oh, well, we need to be cooperating. We need to be the nice parents. We need to do what we're told, etc. You actually don't. What would happen if we waited another few days? What would happen if I didn't take this test? What would happen if I didn't have the scan? Your LMC needs you to ask this because she is governed by protocols, rules, and regulations. Your midwife needs to tick certain boxes to fulfill her regulatory obligations or to fulfill the law that she's under. She needs to say, yes, I have recommended this because this is what needs to happen in this situation. She needs to tell you, I need to recommend this. You can say, oh, thanks very much, but we're just going to politely decline that today. We might look at that in a few days' time or next week. She can make those notes. So-and-so has declined in this instance, etc., etc. She's off the hook. She's done. She's fulfilled her obligations. She needs to keep you safe, but she's operating in parameters and boundaries. You are not. You can do whatever you want to. It is your baby. It's your body. It's your birth. And sometimes by asking the questions, you find out more. As I said before, don't ask, don't get. Don't ask, don't know. Ask good questions. Okay, ask good questions so that you come out of the experience feeling good. Because I meet plenty of mums when I do work with mums, usually in their second or their third pregnancies, who describe their previous birth as traumatic or difficult or negative or horrible or whatever it might be. And it's not about what happened. It's about how you were made to feel along the way. Because I'll have two mums, one mum goes, oh, my birth wasn't that great, but, all good, moving on. She might have had the same set of circumstances to a mum who comes to me who is absolutely terrified about going through that process again and feels absolutely terrible. She's traumatized. So it's not about what happens, it's about how you feel. I'm going to say how you feel is usually a direct correlation with other people taking charge and taking over, and shall we say, getting into your ship and driving it off in a different direction. You want to sail your own ship the way that you want to sail it. You need to learn how to sail it. You need to learn what questions to ask. You need to know how to make informed decisions so that you can have that experience. You come away from it and you think, yeah, we did this. We did this. You might want to write this down. Okay. This is something I go into a lot more detail in my courses, but if you write down the word brains, this gives you a little bit of an outline of questions that you can start asking to make informed decisions. Your midwife says, hey, let's do a stretch and sweep next week if you haven't had your baby by then. And you're like, oh, I think I've heard about that. I think I know a little bit about that. And you might not say, okay, I want to know more about this. And that's, if you don't know absolutely everything about a certain procedure, ask. Don't feel like you should know or that you're stupid to ask. Ask. What are the benefits of doing this? What are the risks? What else could we do? What are the alternatives? What other information can I have to help me make a decision? What would happen if we did nothing? Or, no, thanks very much. And in some situations, plenty of situations, finding a second opinion. What's someone else's take on this? What's someone else's opinion on this situation that you're in, circumstance that you're in, especially if you're in a hospital setting, you can get second opinions. And often, there can be different ways. There are a lot of gray areas of birth. There's not usually just black and white. There's a lot of in between. So write down the word brains. And that will help to trigger you to remember, or take a photo of what's on the screen now. Going to move off this screen now, and I'm going to say another way of preparing for a positive birth is making sure that you're considering your birth environment, who is in there, and how it feels. Okay. Sarah Buckley's research is all about hormones, and hormones respond to our environment. So you may have heard of oxytocin, which is basically the love drug, the love hormone, the hormone of connection, and the hormone that we need in birth. And oxytocin is very shy, and it doesn't like to come out in brightly lit places where we feel exposed and on stage, or where we feel like a lot of people are watching or observing us. It's more likely to flow so beautifully in a dim, dark environment. And the contrast between these two places, where would you feel less vulnerable birthing in? Where would you feel safest? Where would you feel calm to release, relax, let go? You know, contrast the left to the right. This is what we're showing on TV and in the movies. Lots of people around, white coats, bright lights, clinical environment. Compare that to this environment here. And the one on the left doesn't necessarily need to be a home birth. You can have an environment like that in the hospital. Absolutely, if you want to. Because basically your body, your instincts are constantly looking for threats. Okay. And in your labor, you're in this very, very vulnerable state, this vulnerable situation. You're bringing new life into the world instinctively on a very primal, instinctive basis. We need to be safe. We need to feel safe. Our sense of smell. What can you smell in your environment? Can you smell danger, or do you smell something that's comforting and calming? You know, that communicates to the oxytocin that's flowing through our body. We need oxytocin for labor to start. We need oxytocin for labor to progress. We need oxytocin, you know, to birth our babies. If we're in some way dangerous, that oxytocin can't flow the way it is. And so, you know, all the natural hormones are going to have a flow and effect from the fact that, do we feel safe? Do we feel supported? Do we feel loved? So there's a lot of things that you can do for your birth environment to make it feel safe, to make you feel less, shall we say, vulnerable or exposed. And that, you know, there's a hospital room just on the right there. All you need to do is change up the lighting, take your own blankets and pillows, put on some sounds, take in some smells, little things that can make a huge, huge difference to that space so that you're feeling safe and calm. And as you're making your way through the learning process, learning all of these things to help you understand that birth can be calm, it can be relaxed, you can feel confident, you can feel empowered. When you start to change the way that you look at birth, when you start surrounding yourselves with positive birth stories, examples of how birth can be, examples of how you can make it better, examples of how you can feel comfortable, safe, supported, all of those things, when you start to change the way that you look at birth, the way that you do birth will change. Absolutely. That's a quote from Marie Mongan, who is the original founder of the original hypnobirthing program. And this picture on the screen here is of Sarah with her baby Winnie. And she's one of the first episodes, probably within the first 5 episodes of my podcast, so way, way back at the beginning. And her story is just amazing, incredible. She was absolutely terrified of birth. She was so anxious. She was so nervous. And in the space of 5 weeks, she did this complete 180. She had a number of challenges that occurred for her in the rest of her pregnancy, but oh my goodness, she rocked her birth. She had such an incredible experience. I'm so very proud of her. And she's so proud of herself. And all she did was change her mindset, change the way she looked at things. She engaged in tools and techniques. She got her partner on board. She did all the things, and she had an incredible experience. And I wish for you the same type of experience. So what I teach is, and what I want to share with you, and what I'd love to support you with, is it's a program called Hypnobirthing. You could think of it as like a specialized antenatal course, which is really about educating you and your partner and giving you practical tools and techniques for both of you, so that you can feel calm, you can feel positive, upbeat, excited, empowered, and confident for your birth experience. And the skills, the best thing about it is the skills, the tools are not just for birth. You will benefit from them in your pregnancy. You will use them afterwards in your postnatal period, life with baby, life with toddlers, life with teenagers. Okay, you will. So what you get out of the course is, you know, helping to influence and change and, shall we say, upgrade your mindset. Improving your thoughts and feelings about birth. Really specific tools and techniques to use through labor, the breathing, the relaxation, the visualization, mindfulness. Yes, we're focusing in on labor and birth, but I always talk about, hey, use this here, use this afterwards, use this for that, use this in life. And really, it's about understanding and learning that when you are calm and relaxed in an unfamiliar situation, labor and birth is unfamiliar. When you've got familiarity of tools and techniques that you can use, when your head's in the right space, when that support is good, you know, your body is free to do what it is designed to do. And that is your body, ladies, your body is designed to birth baby. So you'll learn how the body works and how to work with it, how to use what goes on in your head, how it influences your body, and how to use what's going on in your head to your advantage. I teach deep relaxation. So hypnosis, self-hypnosis, but basically deep relaxation. Specific breathing techniques for different stages of your labor and birth. A huge part of the course, releasing any of the negatives, the doubts, the worries, the concerns, the fears, the emotions, the stories. Getting your partner on board, showing your partner exactly what they can do, how they can do it, when they can do it, etc. And getting you both to understand how to make good decisions, or how to make decisions, or how to ask questions to make decisions, and getting your mind in that right space, and drawing on mindfulness tools as well. What is it? I'm never going to tell you how your birth should be. You get to do your birth the way that you want to do. It's for all types of births. So I teach parents who, they might be planning on a completely all natural birth, but they end up, some of them are going to have that experience. Some of them are going to have a different experience. Some of them are going to have to navigate plan Z. They might be going in for plan A, and they have to navigate different things through no fault of their own. So for all different types of births, whether it is a home birth, a birth center birth, a hospital birth, a C-section, okay, or an induction. It's not just for mums, it's for the support person too. So if your partner didn't come along, I would recommend having a birth support person like your mum, your sister, or whatever it might be, so that they're learning tools and techniques to support you, to prompt you. I do have had single mums come along too. They usually bring a friend or a birth support person. And I've said this, it's not just for this short time in your life. Parents are using these tools and skills a long time afterwards. Breastfeeding, getting off to sleep once baby is born, dealing with the overwhelm once baby is born, and the change of pace in your life. Tools that you can use for a variety of situations. Now, just to help you understand the hypno and hypnobirthing, basically it's a state of hypnosis. It's a state of getting your mind into the right space where we can tap into that most powerful part of you, which is a really normal, natural experience that you have. You're already an expert at it. You've experienced the same state when you're really engaged in something that you might be involved with on a screen, whether it's watching a movie or playing a game. It's that state of focused attention, the state that you experience as you go off to sleep at night, the state that you might have experienced when you're kind of like in autopilot driving the car. So it's not an unfamiliar state. And really what we do is we're tapping into the bottom of the iceberg here, okay? The most powerful part of you that's running these beliefs, these programs, the automatic pilot stuff, and we think that we are controlling with our mind, I can have this, I can do this, I can be like that. But there's often all these programs that are running in the background that are really driving the show. And it's about getting past the logical, analytical part of us. The part of us that might go, oh, I don't know if I can do this. The part of us that goes, oh, yeah, but my sister had that type of birth. My mum said this, and my friend did this. I don't know whether I can. And I've always been scared of needles, and I don't know whether I can handle that. And, all those things that come up in your mind, we're getting past that to the deeper part of you that's going to run some beautiful programs. So it's like we're going to download some apps for you that are run in the background to be able to help you feel the way that you want to feel and do what you need to do, and trust in your body, believe in yourself, get that body doing what it's totally designed to do, and get you working with it and enjoying it and having an amazing experience. So it's beneficial for a whole lot of things. Beneficial, often partners love it. They often make a special point of telling me that, because they don't often realize what they're getting themselves into, and they take away so much more than they imagined. Midwives, you love it. This is a midwife here who's used hypnobirthing twice for her 2 babies' births. And this midwife here talks about women who use these skills. They take control of themselves during their pregnancy birth. She sees a reduced rate for the needed epidurals. Women and partners enter labour with a much better understanding of the actual process of birth, what the body is doing, how they can help themselves. To tap into the mind is a wonderful way to help keep birth undisturbed and natural. So if you would like to enjoy a positive birth, if this resonates with you, I would love to make it easy for you. I would love to make it easy for you. I'd love to support you on this journey to help you have an amazing birth. And you might want to listen to Sophie's story. That's her pictured here. Sophie's birth to Blakely is on the podcast. She's another mum who was absolutely terrified. And you can hear her talk through the fact that she was like, give me the C-section when she got pregnant. I don't want to even have to think about birth. And then some, she kind of got the information, maybe it was better not to opt for a C-section. Her midwife actually said, nah, you need to do this course. She'd heard about it before. She came along, and within 5 weeks, she'd done a complete 180. She talks about the seismic mindset shift. Great story to listen to. And she's feeling pretty stoked. If you would like to enjoy a positive birth, then there are loads of options for you to be able to access this. So I teach a range of programs, or shall we say 2 different types of programs. The best one is the ultimate one. You're going to get the best value for money. You're going to get all the stuff. You're going to get 12 hours of tuition and ongoing support from me. I teach that for those of you who are Auckland. I have got 2 venues in Albany and in Central Auckland and Onehunga. For those of you not in Auckland, I do teach this course live online. It is interactive. It is engaging. You're going to learn lots of stuff. You're also going to be in the comfort of your own home to do with relaxation. I also teach a shorter course that is just 6 hours. I call it the essentials. It is basics, the basic stuff, the tools, the techniques. That's what we focus on. We don't do any of the fear release. We don't do any of the extra learning about hormones in the body and connecting with baby and things like that. So it's half of it, but it's really good. If you feel quite confident about birth and you want some really good tools and techniques, that would be the course there. If you've got any fear, do the ultimate one, totally. And if you want to do something that's self-paced, if you want to do it in your own home, and go through it. And I have to mention the live ones. If you come to live ones, yes, you have access to all the videos. So you have access to the online stuff as well. If you do the online stuff, you can do it at your own pace. You can do that from anywhere if you've got time constraints or want to do it in a certain time frame. If you're due next week and you want to do that, you can, totally. I had one lady who heard stories on the podcast. She did the course at 40 weeks. She nailed it. She did the online recorded 74-minute course, and she absolutely rocked it, and she jumped on the podcast a week later to share her birth story. So it's never too late. For those of you wanting to put, if you were due in March or April or May or January, now's the time to enroll for the next ultimate or essentials in-person courses. You want to book in as soon as you can. The sooner you do it, the more skills you've got to use through your pregnancy and benefit from that, because yes, it does help with the sleep. For those of you who are struggling with sleeping during your pregnancy and uncomfortableness, so many mums are telling me all the time that it's really helpful for them. The relaxation stuff is really helpful for them in their pregnancy. So with the ultimate courses, you get a copy of the book. You're going to get a complete folder full of your handouts, your scripts, everything printed out for you. You're going to get a beautiful set of affirmation cards. There's 15 different affirmation cards there. You're going to get all of that included. You're going to get everything that you need, plus ongoing support. So if a curveball crops up later on in your pregnancy, you can reach out to me anytime, and we can work through it. I can help you with emotional releasing, or just supporting you on what it is that you need, or reminding you of certain tools and techniques. Also, of course, one-on-one stuff, do lots of that. If there's just some fears that you want to release, if there's just some trauma that you want to help work through and release that out of your body, if there's just some specific birth stuff that you want to do, some hypnotherapy stuff, really, really happy to support you with that. Of course, you can just buy the book that's available online. Just jump on my website. I'll send you a link in an email with all the other stuff. You can buy just the affirmation cards. You can buy both of them together. And tonight, for those of you who've lasted till the end, well done. If you do decide that you'd like to do a course love to have you on board. I'll give you a great big discount, 10% off one of the ultimate courses, if that's live online or live in person. The next courses start in just a couple of weeks. So that special is valid for you, 10% off, which is about $45 off a course, the ultimate course. And remember, this is for you and your partner, okay? And most couples say this is the best investment they've made for both of them for this stage of their lives. Absolutely. Also want to let you know that if you decide, yeah, I'd just like to read the book, I'll throw in the affirmation cards for free. So that's worth about $15, thereabouts. And I'll throw that in. So if you want to order the book, I'll give you a link to do that. I'll throw in the cards for free for you for being here tonight. Now, my favorite quote, my favorite little saying. I want you to know you do have everything you need within you to achieve your positive birth. You've got it within you. But don't just rock up to the birth and go, oh, I'll be fine. I don't need to know anything. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to be prepared. Don't leave it to chance. Okay. You have everything you need within you, but you need to get your mind on board. You need to learn some tools and techniques to work through this unfamiliar situation. You need to have that support. There is work that you need to do, or shall we say there is actions that you need to take. And then you will find, yeah, it all flows. You do have everything you need within you. And I fully, totally believe all mothers have everything they need within them. We've actually just sometimes we've got to unlock the doors. We've got to let it out. We've got to trust ourselves, and we need to align it with tools, techniques, and mindset to help us along the way. If you've got any questions, please do feel free to jump in the chat box. And for those of you that would like to stick around for a little bit longer, I would love to take you through a relaxation and breathwork exercise and a chance for you to connect in with your baby. And so if you're still here right now, feel free to jump on the chat box, and feel free also, make yourselves comfortable. If you've got any bright lights on shining into your face right now, you might want to turn those bright lights off. I'm going to put some music on in the background. Now, I know this has for some people it works really well depending on what system you're operating on. And I want you to let me know, I want you to jump into the chat box if in a moment the music is cutting me out, and I'm starting to play it now. And if for any reason you can't hear me right now, if you can't hear me, you can't respond. But shall we say, if I'm cutting out for you right now, could you please let me know in the chat box? So I'm hoping that you can hear me. I'm hoping that you're starting to make yourself comfortable and try. Thank you. You can hear me perfectly. Beautiful. Can you hear the music though? Hopefully you can hear some music in the background. Loud and clear. Beautiful. Can anyone hear music? It's just always nice to have a little bit of, thanks Sophie, a little bit of music. Thanks Tammy. Awesome. Okay. So what I'd love you to do right now is make yourself comfortable and start to close down your eyes. I want you to place your hands on your belly. That's right. I want you to just start to tune into your breath and your breathing. And noticing any movement in your stomach. Might be just the movement of your breath. It might be the movement of your baby. And just feel into the sensation of the rise and the fall of your stomach. Or the movement of your baby. And at the same time, I want you to just become aware of any noises that you might be able to hear outside of the room. Noticing the music and noticing my voice as well. And Just noticing for a moment, just become aware of your feet. Noticing the position of your feet. As you think about your feet, just noticing the texture of whatever it is that your feet are touching. And as you think about your feet, noticing if one foot is warmer than the other. You're just noticing. And then allow your attention to wander back to your hands. Noticing the position of your hands on your stomach. Noticing the feeling of the fabric of what it is that your hands are touching. And as you think about your hands, notice if one hand feels heavier than the other. You're just noticing. Now I want you to focus fully on your breath and your breathing. Noticing each in-breath, noticing each out-breath. And focusing on breathing into your belly. So imagining your belly is expanding as you breathe in, and just maybe getting a sense or an idea that that belly is slightly softening as you breathe out. Focusing on the rise and the fall of your stomach as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And we're going to take 3 nice breaths together now, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. We're going to breathe in to the count of 4 and breathe out to the count of 6. Just getting ready to take a nice deep breath in, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once again, in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just allow your breath to return to a natural, normal breathing pace, fully connected with your breath, your breathing, and then shifting all of your attention to all those tiny muscles in and around your eyelids. Just allowing all those tiny muscles to go completely loose and limp and lazy. Those eyelids relaxing all the way to the point. They just feel so very, very comfortably closed. And allowing that same sense of relaxation to drift down over your cheeks, into your mouth, into your jaw. So you just let go of any expression that's resting on your face. You allow that lower jaw to just droop and soften down. Whole face soft and relaxed. And allow that relaxation to drift down through your neck, into your shoulders. And allow those shoulders now to sink. Sink into the frame of your body. Or sink further back into what it is that you're resting on. And you can imagine this relaxation like a soft mist or a warm liquid, gently drifting down through your upper arms, softening your elbows, flowing through your lower arms, into your wrists, your hands, your fingers, so that your arms now, just like your eyelids, loose, limp, soft, relaxed. And with every breath now, a sense of relaxation drifts down through your chest, drifts down to your stomach, drifts down around your baby's home and through to baby. And it's time to connect in with your baby now. With every breath now, just get the idea that you can direct all of your love down and into your baby. As you think about this growing baby inside their little home in here, this beautiful baby. And I want you to take a moment now to appreciate all that you have already achieved. The miraculous process of conception, how life was formed, how life is developing, growing within you. Your body is remarkable. The creation of life, incredible. And I want you to celebrate the stage of pregnancy you're at. Whether it's early, whether it's later on. Each and every day, there's a miracle occurring right inside of you. And as you think about that, just send a wave of love to your baby. And you know, prenatal researchers discovered that a baby's awareness starts very early on in pregnancy. Your baby has a very basic, but a level of awareness, a level of consciousness. And all the prenatal researchers have agreed the most important thing for your baby to know, to feel, is that you know they're in there. They're wanted and that they are loved. And so you can spend a moment now just silently sending that message to your baby. We know you're in there. You're wanted and you are loved. Your baby has chosen you as their parents. Your baby knows that you are doing the best job in every way you can to facilitate their development and their arrival into the world. Growing and birthing a baby is truly one of the greatest transformational experiences in life. And your body has an innate wisdom. It knows how to grow a baby. It knows how to birth a baby. And your baby knows what to do. You need to trust this process. Trust yourself. I want you to connect into that wisest knowing part of you right now, that part of you that's instinctive, that part of you that's intuitive. And that wisest part of you, it's guided you here tonight to receive this information, to help you on your journey. And this baby, your baby, this is an experience that both of you go through together. Together, the two of you can work harmoniously, symbiotically, fully connected. This is your baby's birth as well as yours. You both share this experience. And as you feel the love and you marvel at this miracle of life, you are in a deeply connected state. I want you to take a moment to thank your baby for choosing you. Thank your baby for coming to you. And if there's any special messages you wish to pass to baby, just send these now. And trust the path that you're being led towards. Don't let fear and anxiety stop you from doing something great. Connect in with that knowing in your heart that you will give your baby the best opportunity for the best possible birth in whatever circumstances occur, because you are preparing for this event in order to receive and meet this little one. You are safe. Your baby is safe. You are secure. You are well supported. Trust your body's innate wisdom to do what it is designed to do. And then just bringing your awareness back to your breath again. And taking a nice deep breath in through your nose and letting a sigh out. And another nice deep breath in through the nose. And letting that sigh all the way out. And once again, and with this last deep breath in and out, feeling a beautiful sense of energy begin to flow through your entire body. Knowing that you can connect with your baby anytime you choose. Just coming back into your awareness. When you're ready, opening your eyes. And back into the room. And I would love to support you more on your journey to your positive birth. And so, if you'd like to connect with me, if you're following me on Instagram, you can send me a message, send me an email. I will send a follow-up email with all the resources that I promised for you tonight. Want to take advantage of the specials, do that. Jump on in. And I'd love to support you on your positive birth journey, that you look back and you go, yes, we did it. So if you've got any questions, do feel free to jump on into the chat. Otherwise, you can disappear off and have a wonderful night's sleep. And have a week ahead.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Nice to hear a real voice. You're welcome, everyone. Thank you for your thank yous. Joy. Go forth. Enjoy. Conquer. Do it. You've got everything you need within you.